All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm super duper excited for the interview this morning that we have in Amazon Seller Tribe with a powerhouse member and her tiny little assistant. Hi, tiny little assistant.
He's here.
Oh, there he is. Hello, tiny little assistant. So, Krystin Carter, frame up for us what's your life look like? Where do you live? Tell me about your family. Frame it up for us so we know you're just a real person doing real business on Amazon.
Well, first off, Kay, thanks for asking me to come on and talk. I am a Floridian. I live in Northwest Florida, off the Panhandle near Pensacola. I have now 3 beautiful children, ages ranging from 2 weeks old to 10 years old. And I have 3 dogs that are like my children too. So we have a full house over here. I've been running my Amazon business solely as myself. My husband actually has a job. He doesn't run it with me, but one day, hopefully we'll get that to change. But I've been running this business myself for 5+ years now with the kids. And a lot of it was before my youngest son, before him, was even in school. So I was stay-at-home mom, with the kids, doing everything I could to make this thing work. So it's a busy day for me on normal days. I've got the kids now in school, but I do my shopping and my OA buying and everything while they're gone and stuff. It's difficult on some days, but it's so rewarding because when you see it being built like that and then you see your numbers happen and you know that you're like, I did this with all these obstacles in my way. And it's not easy being, home and having the kids and, trying to build a business. It's not easy, but it's definitely rewarding. And I've been waiting a while to see that number.
Okay. Yeah, don't give the number away yet because we're not ready to tell it yet. But guys, we want to make sure that you tune into this interview because you're going to be blown away by Krystin by herself, her husband working a full-time job and not assisting in the business at this time, although that probably will change very quickly. And she's building this business by herself with a newborn on her lap most of the time, or carrying it. You probably just strap him up to you. My daughter-in-law just wears her children. Is that what you find yourself doing a lot of times?
I have worn him a few times. I'm not technically cleared yet to be doing a whole lot of lifting of stuff. So I kind of have to do what I can do, but I do have an employee that helps me out. She's amazing. And I actually just hired her about maybe 2.5 months ago. And I'm so glad I did. That was like I can't believe I didn't do it sooner. I really can't.
Come on. So let's drill on that just a minute. Now, you've been scaling your business, but you changed your model. You were doing a little different model before, and then you changed your model to totally OA and RA. Is that correct? And
yeah, so I was doing retail drop shipping, which if you know anything about retail drop shipping, it's extremely risky.
Right.
To say the least, because it's stressful. I was running at the peak of that business. I had about 23 employees in the Philippines, and I was doing probably $1.5 million in sales a year. The problem with that was I got shut down by Amazon twice last year. The first time was it was an IP complaint. Right. And I could have taken that at that time and just been like, all right, well, I'm not even going to fight this. I'll just, this isn't for me. But that's not who I am. And I love having my Amazon business. So I made a decision in the middle of the year last year to kind of switch business models, because I don't like the feeling of waking up and possibly my store not being on and them holding my money. And I had no way with drop shipping, you have no way of proving anything.
Right.
Really.
Right.
Because you don't purchase products up front.
Right.
So I decided I needed to make a change, and I was scared as I don't know what to do FBA, because I didn't have a clue how to do it. But I had an awesome friend who kind of showed me how to do some basic things. And then of course I was able to join your group, and I haven't done a single bit of drop shipping in over a year, and I haven't had the stress of that part of it. All I have is the stress of how am I going to buy more stuff?
Come on, come on. And it always seems to be more deals than you have money to buy it with. It's always, and I talked to one of our large arbitrage sellers, and he said that never changes. There's always more deals than we can afford. And, you just continue to find those good deals and push in inventory, and it makes for a very successful business. So now you switched business models, and now what month did you come into Amazon Seller Tribe?
I believe it was October of last year. Yes, October of 2019.
October 20.
So that's when I started it.
So we were getting ready for the Q4 surge right about that time.
Correct.
Right?
Yep. And I just didn't have a clue how to do FBA, but I learned as fast as I could. And I made a lot of mistakes last year. I will admit I did. Thank goodness that you guys have had Tribe 3 come out not long after, and I was able to join that and learn from those mistakes. But I think the biggest thing for me is that this entire month and the sales I've done has strictly been FBA and merchant fulfilled, which is huge for me.
Right.
So.
Very, very huge. So now let's just get to the celebratory moment, because we don't know how long little guy's going to hang with us here. So I remember what it's like to be a young mother with babies on the lap. So you do everything at their speed. But now you change your business model. You come in, you admitted that you'd made some mistakes. You got access to the Tribe 3, which is our 3rd round of coaching led by Master Coach Gary Ray. And he did an amazing job. I know that he carried Tribe 3 almost completely by himself, because I was having one family catastrophe after another health-wise, and I'd just gotten back from the Philippines. And he did a beautiful job, and you got in there, and you're a really good student, though. This is one of the things I noticed about you, is that you ask great questions, and you're a really good student. You apply yourself to that knowledge, and you were determined to turn your business to this newer model. And since that time, you just hit a major milestone in building your business. And I want you to be the one that officially announces that to Amazon Seller Tribe and anyone who sees this video, how a mom of young children, a 2-week-old infant on her lap, and she just hit this amazing sales figure. What is it, Krystin Carter?
Oh gosh, 500,000 in sales for the rolling year.
And the crowd,
so excited,
wild, and the confetti comes down, and all the balloons, because it is exciting, and we must celebrate these sorts of milestones, because it's proof to you that what you've set in motion, the foundation that you've set for your business, is working. And now 500,000 becomes 6, 750, $1 million. You've already been there in a different model in those sales figures, so you know how rapidly this begins to grow, don't you?
I do. And I think, honestly, I feel like hitting this milestone is even more fulfilling than it was doing the drop shipping, because since it's a different model and I have to make buying decisions up front, these are decisions that I know I've made good decisions on, and not just throwing listings up and, well, if they sell, they sell. If they don't, they don't. No big deal. So I feel like I really had an accomplishment with this, because this was like really me digging in, and okay, I need to decide based on data and, and sales history, if this is gonna be good for me. And I feel like I did pretty good, but I also learned all that, most of it from going through the tribe training and stuff. So.
Right. Right. So, yes, in the Amazon Seller Tribe coaching program, we deep dive on tools that help you make those buying decisions, but also help you set good expectations too. So what can you expect out of that buying decision, and then maybe also how to mitigate a bad buying decision so it doesn't take you under, right? And sometimes we have to pull the plug on a product, don't we? You have to
Yes.
know when to hold them.
I've had to fold a few for sure, but it's a learning experience, and you learn from it, and you don't make the same mistakes. I can tell you right now, the mistakes I made last Christmas had me actually a little bit in debt going into January, and I can officially say that that's gone. I have pulled myself out of that.
Come on.
But that's because I've learned, and once I got into Tribe 3, I learned what mistakes I made and how to correct them. So this year was completely different. And so it was just awesome.
I think sometimes those mistakes really are the tax we pay on our way to success. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a frustrating thing. Nobody wants it, but that's just a part of doing business, partly because you don't know what you don't know, right? Sometimes you don't know that it's going to be a mistake. You look at the information you have. It's the best decision you can make at the time. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but you're the type of person that you don't let that fold you up. You don't let that push you back. You're a warrior, you're a warrior woman.
I can't let it. Yeah, I think, well, and, coming back to my family and my kids and everything, I can't let it, get me to a point where I just give up and stuff, because this is all I have as far as like, I actually don't have a college degree. I don't have any sort of career that I could ever go back to. I love what I do. I feel like I'm pretty good at it, and I always want to improve on it, but I do this because of my kids, and I want them to see me doing this because I want to set a good example for them, and, to see their mom like working for something and accomplishing something. So I feel like I'm doing that, I hope, for them, but
That's right. And at the same time, you're not really working alone. I mean, you have taken those kids out. They've been scanning in the stores with you. They know something about the business already, and they're little guys.
Yep, they do. They help me label stuff and, get stuff packed. And of course, it's mostly my daughter who's 10, but my son, he feels like anytime we go to Walmart to scan anything, it's toy time, so he likes to go. but yeah, I mean, I implement, I put my daughter in and have her help me wherever, I can have her help me, and she sees that. So
yeah, and this is one that you can train up to end up helping you in the prep and ship department and in all kinds of ways in the business. Colleen's little grandson, we've had him in the business with us since we got started, all the way from, popping beauty items into the little bags, and slapping labels on it, all the way to now he goes scanning with us in the store. We just did a store yesterday, and he's like, I found one, and I'm like, and he's running the numbers, and he's looking at his data, and he's got a scanning app on his phone, and it's fun to see them grow in the ability to make money for themselves. They're not at the mercy of a corporate America. They're not at the mercy of a company that might lay them off. They're going to have a skill that can make a difference. You have a skill that can make a big difference in your life. You're not at the mercy of what's happening, out there in some business, right?
Mm-hmm.
This feels
absolutely. Especially with, everything that's going on with coronavirus and stuff. I just think about, the job I had that I actually left when my business started to do so well, and that was at a hospital. And I'm thinking to myself, if I still worked there, oh my gosh, I don't
Wow.
know how that would even work, because most people, with the kids and stuff and daycare and everything, I'm just very blessed that I was able to even come into this Amazon space and build it up, because now I can, you know, run my own hours and have kids with me and stuff. It's just a blessing. It really is.
What would you say to Amazon, newbies that get bowled over by the obstacles that they face? I mean, we face obstacles in almost anything that we try to achieve, but somehow in Amazon, there may be an obstacle that comes to them. They're restricted in a certain brand or a category, or they make a buying decision and it's a wrong buying decision. What would you say to those who have faced obstacles like you have? Just tell them how they need to frame their minds and their hearts.
Well, I can tell you how I framed my mindset around it. And basically, when it comes to those things where, for example, restricted items, everybody's got restricted items. Everybody's got items they can't sell. You're not gated and stuff. I have a friend here locally who's just trying to get started, and he's not ungated in a lot of the bigger brands, which wouldn't be at your very beginning. And so the mindset is, okay, so you can't sell the big brands right now. Eventually you'll be able to, but go ahead and sell what you can, because there are millions and millions of products out there that you are ungated in, and those products are going to be just as profitable. And you find them, just don't look at what you can't do, look at what you can do. That's what I have come to like. This is an obstacle. All right, I can't do this, fine, but what can I do to fix it? What can I do to go around it or to push through it? And so that's kind of, the attitude I have about different things like that. What can I do to, push through it? So.
And Krystin, you have a real positive mindset. I don't know if that's something that you've purposefully developed or if that's something that came natural to you. But talk about that positive mindset that you bring to your business.
So that's actually kind of funny, because I am not, I don't consider myself having been born with this positive mindset. I feel like it's something that I've grown into. I feel like it's something I've grown into. And a lot of it has to do with when I was about 14. My parents joined Amway. And I'm sure a lot of people have heard of Amway. It's been around a really long time. And they were in it about 10 years. And I pretty much attribute them being involved with that, and them going to their functions and then listening to those positive attitude tapes and the things that they had to do, because I would hear that stuff. And I pretty much attribute that whole thing to me wanting to be an entrepreneur, because I can't remember a time after that where I ever was like, oh, I want to go have a job and work for somebody else. I don't think I ever did after that.
Well, it kind of ruined.
And so no matter, and I fought really hard trying.
It ruined you, didn't it? I mean, it ruined you for working for somebody else. You're an entrepreneur to the bone from that time on.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, you see it because you're like, oh, wow, like you can actually have your own business and, work for yourself. And before they joined Amway, I never even knew that you could do that. Again, I was 14. So, being exposed at that age, I feel like really kind of shaped my outlook on things. And so I just realized beyond going forward, beyond that, I can't have it. You can't have a negative attitude and expect for things to change or go a certain way. If you're always complaining about something or always looking at what can't happen or what's going wrong and stuff like that. So, that's just something that I've learned very early on and kind of, just built on it.
Right, right. And that's an important thing, to come at it with a good attitude, a positive attitude, a can-do attitude, a make no excuses attitude, And if anybody is coming at it with the right attitude and making no excuses, it's certainly Krystin Carter, who's just 2 weeks ago had that little guy. And she's already made some decisions in her life to help her move forward. This was a big one. For a lot of people, this is partly what holds them back from the growth they really want to achieve. And that is learning when to hire an employee and when to become an employer. And that's an important decision, isn't it?
Very important. And I know I'm totally guilty of this. I waited a little longer than I probably should have. And I think what pushed me to doing it was obviously my sales volume was picking up. I was getting even more and more pregnant, and I knew that I was not going to be able to do this much longer. I needed the help. And had I been smart and listened to Gary, I should have done it sooner. I'm going to say that. But, you know, better late than never. And once I hired one of my girlfriends who's been amazing, she takes care of all my daily stuff and everything, that now I can actually be here with him and I don't have to go do all that. And but it is a tough decision, and I was scared to do it because I was like, well, I know what I'm doing. I can do it, you know, better than, but it's training too, you know, and if you take the time to train somebody, then you just replicate yourself. Just replicate yourself. And
all right, let's hit that right there, because at the moment that you brought on that employee and you trained that employee, you duplicated your potential. You doubled your sales. It may not have come to fruition yet, but you've doubled the potential of your sales, because all of a sudden you're going to hit another gear. That's why it will be easier for you to go from 500,000 to 1 million than it was for you to go from 0 to 500,000, is because you've learned how to replicate yourself, or, you know, in a sense, you know, put yourself out of a job. You're stepping away from that part so that you can feature the kinds of things that you really need to feature. And little guy is not at all interested in this interview, is he? He's like, I hope these people will shut up so I can go back to sleep. Actually, he just opened his eyes. There he is. All right. So we are so proud of what you've accomplished, Krystin. You really have taken away a lot of people's excuses. And, you know, a while ago, just before we were getting ready to go on camera, my sister was in here. She said, who's the interview with? And she goes, you know, she's just wowing me. She is just wowing me with that kind of attitude, you know, 2 weeks after the baby, and she's here talking to other sellers about selling on Amazon.
I feel like I'm a bit of a workaholic in this sense. It's really kind of, all I can think about since I've even had him is, you know, being with him. But I'm like, okay, I'm like watching all the, you know, the buys. I'm like, okay, what do I got to do? I got to get back in there now. So it's just always on my mind.
Well, and bless his heart, he did come at a in the Q4 season. So, you know, not by his own design nor his fault, but little guy has to go to the Q4 surge with all of us, doesn't he? And that's just fine. We're super proud of what you've accomplished. Now in Amazon Seller Tribe, the $500,000 sales level, we call that the purple lanyard level, because at the Branson conference, you know, we had color lanyards for certain sales. And so, of course, you know, I would love to be able to officially present you with a purple lanyard. Not being able to reach you or give you the purple lanyard at this moment. We're going to put that off for the next time that we see each other personally, and we all get over COVID. But now you have officially achieved the purple lanyard seller status, which at this point, when you've achieved this status, you have a business that now will take on a life of its own. It will almost grow before you even know it. You just have to keep doing what you've been doing, and then let your employees grow into their place, and keep doing what they're doing. And everybody gets better, faster, stronger. 500K becomes a million in a new model. After totally shifting, it's amazing what you.
I know. I'll be honest with you, sometimes I'm like, how did I do this? But I mean, it was just about not giving up, you know. We teach our kids, you know, the only way that you actually fail at something is if you give up on it. You
That's
know,
right.
you might fail at it and fail and fail and fail. And we always say fail forward, you know, fail forward and learn from your mistakes. But the only way you actually give up, or the only way you actually fail, is if you quit on it and you don't ever do it again. And that's how I feel about it. So I'm not ever I won't ever be quitting.
You won't ever be quitting. Well, you have the material that it takes to end up being one of the coaches in our coaching program for sure as we move forward, because you have some of those key elements inside of you and you're able to infuse that into others. Hopefully there are young mothers out there who are listening that are going to get some courage, gain some courage from this. They're older women like me with grown children, you know, and grandma. It's like, hey, take no prisoners. You know, there are no excuses. You can build an amazing Amazon business in this day and this time with all the challenges we're facing nationally, and do it from home. Do it with kids surrounding you. You know, you're the one that gets to feed the baby, diaper the baby, burp the baby. You don't ever have to leave that baby and worry about, is your baby being taken care of properly? Is your baby being
Correct.
loved on
Yep.
properly? You don't ever
Yeah.
have to have it. And isn't the commute wonderful?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's really nice to go from the bedroom to the living room. It really is.
That's right.
Now, considering, because we just had that hurricane and they knocked our huge bridge out. So when we talk about commute, we all have like this sour face because we have to now drive an extra to get into our big Pensacola town, you know, but that actually, and that too, that's another obstacle I've had, because I used to do a lot of my sourcing in Pensacola RA. And now that our bridge is out and I have to drive basically an hour out of my way to even get over there, it's a little bit more tough, but I still make time to do it. I just have to kind of rearrange my schedule a little bit, but you know, you find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way.
That's right. That's right. And thank God for OA as well, as an arbitrage method where you can order online, just get the deliveries. That has been a great blessing for many of us who've had to stay closer to home because of family or challenges we face, right?
Agreed.
So
absolutely.
So what would you say to anyone who's looking at starting selling on Amazon, or maybe they're just kind of getting up on their little wobbly legs and they're not sure they made the right decision? What would you say to them right now?
Well, I mean, I would be honest about it. It's not going to be as easy. Nothing ever is. It's worth it. This is definitely worth it. You just have to have your reason of why you're doing it. You got to have a reason of why you're doing it. You can't just be doing it just, you know, for whatever. That's not going to motivate you to stay on it if you come across those problems and obstacles that you're going to get, because you will have them. Every business does. And if you don't have your reason of pushing through, then you're going to easily say, okay, this is not for me. But if you can just do that and you can just push through anything and handle any obstacle that comes your way as it comes, then you will be successful. That's what I've had to do. And I've finally gotten to this point. And that's how you have to do it. Just know your reasons why you're doing the Amazon business in the first place, and you will always be successful. You will continue to work hard to grow it.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep your why right up in front of you and draw strength from that. You know, it shouldn't be something that weighs you down. It should be something that energizes you and motivates you. And you've got 3 beautiful whys in that home, because you're modeling for them how to grow up to be an entrepreneur, not be in the hands of someone else in the workaday world, get to set a course for themselves, and growing up little warriors there. We appreciate that so much. Krystin, thank you for spending this precious time. I was trying to put myself in your shoes before this morning when I'm getting up and around, and I'm like, you know, look how leisurely I'm doing this. I know what's happening behind the scenes at the house, at Kristin's house. She's racing around going, baby, eat right now, please. Baby, do not poop your diaper right now, because the interview is going to start in a few minutes. And I thought, you know, how lucky that I have it. I don't have those kinds of challenges, but I will say this, I do remember them, and I honor you and respect you for facing those kind of challenges, leaping over those hurdles and making it look so easy.
I tell you what, though,
Congratulations.
Gay. Thank you. Well, real quick, I'll just say that I'd rather have these challenges than have the challenge of someone else running my life.
Come on. Come on. Word to the wise. Mic drop moment for sure. Thank you for spending this time with me.
Thanks, Gay.
Congratulations. 500,000 purple lanyard seller. In another blink of the eye, Kristin's going to be over in the gold lanyard $1 million seller status. We know that because she has everything it takes, and now she's got her systems in place. Love you.
Hang on to that purple lanyard, but it may be a different color the next time I see you.
I know that's exactly the case. I know that's going to be the case. So anyway, until we meet face to face, see you then.